Thank you guys for letting me come pee in your pod.
Whoa. This isn't 2 peas in a urinal cake.
Fair enough.
This is... I'm Derek.
And I'm Jared, and this is 2 peas and a pod.
Was that countdown always 5 seconds, or did it used to be 3?
It's always 5 seconds. It's the
Man,
longest 5 seconds of your life.
I don't remember it being 5 seconds. It felt
It's
so
always
long.
It's always 5 seconds.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
You know what else is 5 seconds?
I'd rather not say online.
Oh, I was gonna say how long the Netflix live stream of the Jake Paul fight lasted.
Dude. And we joke around with like Call of Duty and stuff about how bad the servers are, but like Netflix, this was your moment and you fucked it up. Like,
Yeah, I mean this is one of their moments, right?
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
so I did not watch the roast live of Tom Brady. I watched it after the fact. And obviously there's no issues there. Watching it after. I do believe some people say that there, and I don't know exactly what part, but I do believe there was an edit in there at some point that people were like, why did they edit that out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it. I think I watched it live, but I missed. No, I watched the whole thing.
You did watch the whole thing live?
Yeah, I think I watched the whole thing live. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. But that went well. There was no hiccups there. I would be curious to see what the viewership count was for the Tom Brady roast versus the Jake Paul fight. Because the Jake Paul fight has been advertised for the last 6 months, and it got moved due to an injury from like Tyson.
Yeah.
So like this is like a momentum building like advertisement for the event versus like the Tom Brady roast was like advertised like 2 weeks before it came out, and then like it started. So I'd be curious what the viewership count. Yeah. Like, because I wonder, so obviously everyone knows, like, the Jake Paul fight got, like, the stream cut out for, like, a solid, 10, 15 minutes?
I don't know that I don't even know that you could ever say it came back. I did watch the entirety of it, and I actually watched it on my phone because it was working better. I still had issues, but I don't know if it was because of screen size or that doesn't make sense. Like, it's a Fire Stick is what I'm streaming off of. And I could watch other titles on my Fire Stick. They're like, maybe it's your network thing isn't working, and it's like, no, I can literally go watch other things on Netflix on my Fire Stick without any issues. I can do other things. I can go to other websites on my PC, like, because it's like, maybe this seems like it's a you problem. It's like, this is not a me problem, buddy. Go to downdetector.com, and there's been 30,000 reports in the last minute and a half. I don't think this is a me thing.
Yeah. Like, come on.
But that's not Netflix. It's not like somebody was in there like, you have terrible internet, you asshole. It's not like there was some kid at Netflix doing that. It's just, that's their automated bot, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was funny, though.
With that, so I just Googled it because we forgot that there's this awesome thing called Google.
Yeah.
So
180 million.
The Jake Paul fight had 108 million viewers live. The Tom Brady roast had 2 million.
I'm a dyslexic kind of Rain Man. I'm a dyslexic Rain Man.
Yeah. So I guess there was the very, very big difference between viewership, and it probably overloaded because Netflix doesn't usually have that many.
They DDoS themselves, basically.
Yeah.
They DDoS themselves.
Yeah.
I do think they have 100. So I gathered 180. I think that was like their total subscriber amount or something like that. That might be how many people that leading up to the fight. I was reading, and I think it said there was 180 million people that going into this fight were subscribed and were going to be capable of watching. Yep. And then on top of that, I think there was people signing up amidst it going on, which is probably part of the DDoSing effect. Is like
but
it was the network.
It was also like a total amount. The peak viewership was at 65 million.
Which is still a lot of people.
I mean, still, a lot of people.
Peak viewership, 65 million on a live event.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think what the Super Bowl gets to.
Here, let me help you with that.
That's great. Speaking of which, Netflix is so okay. So we talked about roast of Tom Brady. We just had this sporting event with the Jake Paul fights versus Mike Tyson, and then they'll be doing they did a big network deal with the NFL where they'll be showcasing the Christmas game. So I do think that this is a good thing.
Yep.
That they kind of had this little trip up, because hopefully that doesn't happen there. Because I will tell you, as a person that did actually watch the fight, it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
But I was thinking Mike was going to do... I mean, it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but dude... Okay, finish your statement. I'm sorry.
Is he 52 or 58?
58.
58, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looked... It kind of looked like the Stipe Jones fight the very next night, to be honest. Like, dude, I don't know. Nobody contend this. I'm going on a little bit of a rabbit hole here. Just bear with me. We'll bring it back around. We'll really trump this baby up. We'll bring it full circle. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I got nothing
All right.
time.
But anyway, Jones is an absolute beast. Dana White said prior to that fight even happening, he goes, if coming into tonight you're still not sure if John Jones is the pound-for-pound GOAT, he goes, we don't even have to have a conversation anymore. You and I just don't. We'll never get. If you still think that that's somehow not true about him, then we should just stop having conversations with each other. Yeah. That's how much Dana White feels like John Jones is like the undisputed pound-for-pound GOAT in the UFC. And I will say, watching that Stipe fight, which Stipe has only been retired, I think, about 2 years. So this was kind of like a callback to that. And Jones is a little bit more in fight shape because he's been in the fight. I mean, he's the current champ.
Yeah.
But Stipe was kind of that one guy that maybe he'd have a chance against.
Yeah.
And
Jones his style or his
deleted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jones put on a masterclass of how to absolutely dominate somebody. And I think that's what makes John Jones so good, is he just absolutely... He doesn't just beat people. He picks them apart and destroys them, no matter who it is. It literally looks like he does not have challenges in the octagon. But that is, however, not saying that was actually a really good fight. I felt bad watching the Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but okay. So
Jake Paul fight.
Real quick. Let's put this to bed. Super Bowl peak viewership was 123 million. So
wow, so half.
Lot of people. Yeah. But I mean, it was worldwide too, and obviously the Super Bowl's more of a...
Netflix is a worldwide.
Right. What I'm saying is Super Bowl's like a yearly, like everyone knows, like it's just a built up culture, over 58 years, right? 59 years this year.
A lot bigger call.
Yeah. But
tradition to it.
I don't even feel bad for Mike Tyson, because did you see the contract came out after the fight about like, if he knocked him out in the first round, Mike Tyson would get $0. If he knocked him out in the second round, he'd get this much money. Third round, this much money. Fourth round, fifth round. If he made it to the 8th round, he'd make like the $20 million. Or like if he never knocked him out. You can't tell me.
Mike Tyson knocked him out.
Correct.
Hold on.
If Mike Tyson knocked out Jake Paul in any of those rounds before the end, like he'd get less money than what he got for winning the. Correct. But with that, and it's also not even if the contract didn't come out. You're telling me one of the best fighters ever. I don't care that he's 58, right? You saw the I mean, if you haven't, Google his training videos leading up to the fight. Dude's still an animal.
That's what
he knows it. But then he landed 18 punches the entire 8 rounds. So he landed an average of he averaged 2.5 punches per round, or less than 2.5 punches per round landed. There's no way an elite fighter, I don't care how old you are, right, can train like that, show those videos, then come in and land 18 punches, and that's it?
Dude, he looked so slow.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, dude.
He didn't have the boxer bounce. His knee looked like it was bothering him. He was just kind of like shuffling. He was literally doing the old man shuffle. Like people with a walker shuffle.
I get it, but like you watch the videos when he was training, or even like him, like it's a different person. And there was actually like people that were breaking down videos, and again, it's always the trolls on the internet, like how there were so many opportunities that Jake Paul gave him that he didn't take, that an average fighter or a good fighter would have seen and taken advantage of. Like there was a punch where Jake Paul came cross body and hit him, and he shouldered it and left Jake's face open, and you saw Mike Tyson like start to go and then pull back from a punch. Like could have just like decked him. Like those are like knockout style punches that he pulled back from.
Yeah.
Because like he was cross body, open face, and he could have just come and wrecked Jake Paul, and he held back. So I don't know. And it's just to me, I think it's rigged, and which is why I didn't enjoy it. And I'm not upset that I didn't really get to watch it because of the whole snafu. It's because it's not real. Like he faced Tony Fury and lost. An active boxer his age and lost. Like it's a showmanship thing. It's not a real sport for Jake Paul.
I agree. I actually 100% agree with that. Did you hear the call out after where he wants to go next? Conor McGregor in MMA.
Oh, he'd get fucking wrecked. Pardon my
Right.
French. Conor
Yeah.
McGregor would toy with him and then absolutely destroy him.
And if anything other than that happens, rigged.
Right.
Rigged again.
As much as I do not like Conor McGregor's outside of MMA, like,
He's been into some shit, hasn't he?
yeah, and he's just a cocky little guy, which you have to be, right?
Oh,
and I'm
dude,
not, and I'm
I
not,
think, yeah,
I'm
he
not
has to have
saying
an ego.
I'm not saying that don't get a little, aggressive at times, but like that dude is just out of this world cocky. Like, did you know he bought a tailored suit that had hand stitching "FU" written on the pinstripes of his suit?
Oh, really?
It said "fuck you" like written, and it was a pinstripe of his suit.
That was the pinstripes?
Yeah,
That's pretty dope.
yeah. But anyways, in the ring, he's an animal, an absolute animal. Like
Well,
you're telling
was.
me that Jake Paul, okay, but Jake Paul, how many times has he done MMA fighting?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. The one thing Jake Paul's got going is I think he weighs like 215 or something like that, 230, and
Yeah.
I think Conor McGregor's like a 175 guy.
Oh, right here. Let me blow it up.
So that was his stipulation, is that they would fight at whatever weight they were at.
I don't know. I don't know about
Well,
that.
no, that was what they said. Like I saw it. That's
Oh,
what he
really?
said. We will, because he originally wanted Jake Paul to do it in cut weight, but he was like, "Nah, we'll not cut weight and we'll just do it at the weight that I am." Yeah,
So FU suit. So the whole pinstriping is all FU,
that's
basically.
hilarious.
So if you look like right here, let me share this part of the screen. You can't see it. But you can see like that stitching L says "fuck you" all the way down, and that was his pinstripe.
That's nuts.
That's just his man. That's just him. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's what I mean. That's why he was so good for the UFC,
Yeah,
is he really
yeah.
created this. And now there's a lot of guys doing it, or and I think guys were inevitably, like, he just happened to be the one that really popularized it. He did
Sure.
great things for the sport of MMA, and I think there's a lot of those guys that are not that way. Like, they decide, am I going to be the angel or the heel in this
Mhm.
type, just like WWE and stuff like that. Like, people like
Yeah.
that. People like a little bit of the drama, but if you see those guys after the fact, they're always going over there hugging each other, even if they like spat in each other's face. Like,
Right.
they just like, dude, we threw down, we put on a show. But
I respect
I've
the
always
hell out of you.
yeah, I've appreciated that about MMA fighters always.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of talk, but we know that at the end of the day, this is for the ratings. But I will say this. Boxing, I think, is far more riggable than the MMA. I don't know, like, could MMA be rigged? Absolutely, at times.
It's
But I don't
harder,
think it
though.
is. Oh, I
It's
think it's a lot
harder.
harder, too.
Because of the way they fight, right? Ground and pound, arm bar, leg bars, punching, kicking. Like it's hard to fake that versus when you're standing around and you can dodge people. You can fight defensively in boxing all day, right? You can
Yeah.
jump around the ring and all that. It's hard to just watch MMA fighters stand away from each other and not throw punches.
Well, and when it is single faceted, kind of like what you talked about, oh, I see an opening, I'm not going to take an opening because I need to do this. In MMA, because of the versatility of it, like you're just never going to throw anything. You're just going
Right.
to stand there for
Right.
5 rounds or 3 rounds or whatever the round count is and get the
Yeah.
hell beat out of you. That's the other thing too. Like dude, again, that fight the next night, Stipe has to have broken ribs, bro.
Oh,
You got to see how it finished. You guys can go to YouTube, go to the UFC site, like their page, and they literally posted the final round. And I would encourage you to go see it because, woo, it is
Dude,
just two
it
different levels.
It couldn't be me. I don't know that I could ever fight in the UFC MMA, like
I like
professionally.
Not
I'm
obviously,
just saying.
not
I'm just
at
saying.
that high level. No,
No. Yeah, like
I'm not athletic
little ground and pound, a little like tussle, sure, right? But a full on, like, you're training for 6 months for a fight to get the shit literally knocked out of you and win or lose.
Yeah,
Nah, it couldn't be me. Could not be
Mm.
me.
I think it's kind of funny though. Like, you don't like being punched in the face is very interesting. Like, my wife and I talk about this. It's like it doesn't hurt as
Mhm.
much as it like displaces you.
Infuriates you?
No, it like displaces you. Like,
Oh.
it's really interesting when you're actually like in a scrum with somebody and
Yeah.
you get punched in the face. It's not like is there pain? Sure, but you don't really. It's not the pain that you recognize. It's my head just got moved. Like, that's
Yeah.
like
Disorientation.
yeah. You just kind of like it's like a knocking, and everything's good until the adrenaline that once the adrenaline goes down,
Yeah.
then then the pain becomes
Yeah.
real.
Right. Well, it's just like
So
it's just getting like in football, if you just get your bell rung, like you're coming across the middle as a receiver and a linebacker levels you because
Mhm.
your quarterback hates you. Like
Yeah.
you sit up and you're like, what the, like it doesn't necessarily hurt, but you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I was going this way full speed, and now all of a sudden now I'm backwards a little bit here.
Yeah, on the ground. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I would call it's like a displacement tendency
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah.
So
So, but yeah, so Netflix, man, they've been doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And we talked about this with like the Tom Brady fight or the Tom Brady roast, and then like
Yep.
and then they're having a NFL special
Yep.
on Christmas Day for NFL game, like live. Kind of like Amazon Prime is doing.
Yep. And I think their
That's-
stock is skyrocketing. They're entering a new space, and people want to get
Yeah.
on board with this. I mean, what did we say? Probably like 6 months ago or something like that, or a couple of years ago, I guess.
A couple of years ago, it's a fourth. It was a fourth of the cost it is now. So
Yeah, they're up at like $880. We just checked that out
Yeah.
before. And there, one of the other. So I was actually listening to a podcast, or was it? I don't even know what it was, but what they were talking about was like the resurgence of religious shows. I'm not sure if you
Okay.
know this, but like back in like the 80s, 90s, there was a huge calling for like real religious media, and then
was that
and, like,
after the
probably-
70s when people got were like crazy with
yeah,
the
there's
drugs
probably a lot
and
of
the
Reformation
partying
movement
and
type stuff. If you look
I can see that.
yeah, and so shows like that, like you had some old school kind of low production, but then all of a sudden you had like Mel Gibson's The Passion. That was like that was like maybe
Oh,
one of
yeah,
the
I've
first
seen
things
that.
where they were like,
Yep.
whoa, this is maybe making a comeback, because that was like, I think that was probably close in the 2000s. I
Mhm.
would say maybe early
Probably
2000s,
close.
late 90s, somewhere in there. And then recently you had The Chosen, which is like a TV series. And that is really, and then you had like Jesus Revolution was a popular movie with the same guy that plays Jesus in The Chosen, I believe, Rami something or other. But now, and I'm thinking of this because Netflix is literally coming out with a new show called Mary, and there's this huge uproar right
So
now
Netflix
because
is coming out with this, you said, right?
yeah, Netflix is coming out. That's why sorry, long road here, but we're getting there.
You're good.
Mary is a new show that they're coming out that follows the mother of Jesus, and people are upset because she's an Israeli. Like, the actress is an
Mhm.
Israeli.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it like, okay, Black Captain America, don't really care.
Right.
All right, there is nothing that ties Captain America to being white versus being black.
Except for the comics, but yeah.
Correct, but I mean, there's just like, there's no, there's canon. That's what they call that kind of stuff, right? You have
Yeah.
you as a Star Wars fan, there's Star Wars canon. Like, you can deviate, but obviously you don't want to have to like rewrite canon or go completely off scope, right?
Right.
Well, yes, there's some of that, but they did that, right? They made the diversion by having not Hawkeye. Sorry, I can't think of the
Falcon?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? Is the name of the TV series. So Falcon like was a good friend of Steve's, and now he's like taking up the mantle to be the new captain. Like, they didn't destroy canon; they're just moving into a different direction. And I have no problems when things are like that. Just like I think people should have no problem when an Israeli, and I know that there's a lot of controversy about Palestine and Israel right now, and that's probably why people on the socials are all upset about it.
Yeah.
But Mary is literally an Israelite from the family
History
of David.
from the book. Yeah.
Yes.
The good book.
She is. Yes. She is from the tribe of Judah.
Yeah.
So, like, why are people mad about this? Like, we don't get mad. We get mad about stupid little shit when it's, like I said, Black Captain America, or why is there not enough multicultural people being used, or even the whole thing for me, like, people are like, Black Jesus. Doesn't matter what color Jesus was to me. Matter of fact, I don't think Jesus was white. I don't think he was black. He's probably olive because he's from the Middle Eastern area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. So two things: Passion of the Christ, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
2004. So you're right.
2004.
Right,
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, early 2000s.
And second, and I think I'm just repeating myself because this comes up, is I agree with you. So the fact that like she's Israeli and it goes back to the book, like, who cares, right? Even if she wasn't, like, this is a book or a show to entertain you, right? And the thing
Correct.
about
Yep.
movies, the thing about TV shows, the thing about video games, books, right? They were created or invented to provide an escape or a fun thing that's not real, right? It's something that takes your mind off of what you're doing in the real world, right? So, stressful day at work or something, or stressful day for personal reasons, you come home, you watch a show on TV because it's interesting to you, it makes you feel good. Who cares what color, nationality, race, whatever it is that the person is? If you like the show, watch the show. If you don't like
Mhm.
the show, guess what? We're in the golden age of television where you can find a million, probably a million other things
Yeah.
that you can watch. Like, why does it have to be a big deal? Who cares?
Yep. And in this situation particularly, I think it's even dumber to care because it's the most historically, ancestrally accurate type of person. Now, I
Correct.
don't know what tribe she comes from.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Some people will be able to tell you, like people that live in Israel. I imagine several Israelites could probably tell you the tribe
Yeah.
and genealogy they come from. At least a group of them, because at this point they probably have a few of them in their lineage. But it's like, so you're coming from that actual group, that actually makes a lot of sense. But if she wasn't, and this is where I agree with you, if she wasn't, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not really that important.
Right.
So,
Right. One of the things at work we talked about a lot over the last couple of years because of like COVID and just different things with like work is don't get caught up on the things you can't control because guess what? You can't control them. Like you can't
Yeah.
change it. So why worry about it? Same thing. Like just pick a different show. I don't
yeah.
know. Or don't watch a show and stare at a wall. Don't care. Not my problem.
Yeah, go read a book.
Yeah.
In a book, they can look however you want them to look.
Yeah. It's called
Right?
imagination.
Thanks, SpongeBob. Yeah. Exactly, dude. And maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is a call for people to read more books.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Or listen to them, which you've been
or
doing.
listen to them. Yeah. Yeah.
What book? Oh yeah.
I think 5. 4 or
Yeah.
5.
You're
Yeah,
you're
well, they're on the 6th floor, so I think I'm in book 5. Yeah, they're on
Got
the
it.
6th floor and they're in book
Got
5.
it.
So
Got it. That's
yeah,
awesome.
there's 2. I don't remember if there's 1 or 2 to go. Because okay, either there's 1 to go and then the new book releases in January, or there's 2 to go and the new book release. I hope there's 2 to go and there's 1 in January
Because you're
I am
flying through.
it.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
a
am
month,
fly-
dude. It's
Yeah.
been a month and you've been through like 5
They're
books.
26-hour long books. Well, I just
Yeah.
did. So I just went to Watertown
Gross.
for a 2-day annual planning meeting.
No offense.
And yeah, no, it's okay. So,
No, I mean to
3.5 hours.
the people that live in Watertown. No offense, but gross.
Yeah.
You're talking to an Aberdonian, okay? I have to say that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, 3.5 hour drive there, 3.5 hour drive back, and I listened to the book the whole time, both ways. And then when I was going to bed, I was listening to the book, and
Yeah.
so it's a good story. I just on the edge of my seat, always wondering what new item
next?
what new item are they going to get? What kind of crazy beast are they going to get into? What kind of quest are they going to fall themselves upon?
Remind everyone, what book are you reading again or listening to?
It's the Dungeon Crawler Carl series by Matt
Dungeon Crawler.
Differden, something like that.
Diffiden.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's like he's playing a video game, but it's actually his real life now because he is on a mission to save mankind, basically.
Yeah.
From an
That's
extinction level event.
I should definitely check that out. I just haven't. I think
listen
I
to
should.
it as a book sample of it. And I will say this, whoever produces it, I can't remember what the name of the company that's doing the audiobooks are, but they do way more like here, let me just read you this book. They have multiple people doing different characters of voices, and they won't do explosions and stuff like that, but they'll be like, there was a huge explosion, you know what I mean? Like, and that might be a different voice, or like the AI has a different voice, very robotic. So there's real production value in it.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. And so that definitely adds to the overall value or entertainment value of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's a good series, you said, so
I
would do it.
Yeah.
The Passion, I just looked the Passion of the Christ. I don't know why I just looked up because there was a moving and I did whole like squirrel. Only got a 50% in Rotten Tomatoes. So
well, some people probably didn't like the fact that they had to read because it is produced in Aramaic.
Yeah.
So everybody speaks Aramaic, which would have been an old Aramaic too, or as old as they can understand Aramaic would have been at that time.
Right.
Because, but like they're like modern countries do use Aramaic. Like in the Middle East, Aramaic I believe is still one of the more common. But just like in America, you have Old English and then you have Modern English, right? Like it's just it's the same language, same words, but it's evolved in the dialect a little bit over time.
Right.
And so yeah, and then just what's out there, right? There used to not need to be an Aramaic word for the word television, you know. So you probably would have used to say it. Probably first became Magic Box, and then from there it became television. So
something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of but yeah, like that was a really good production, and I find it interesting when the people do stuff like that. Like, let's just like imagine if the Lord of the Rings was entirely spoken in Elvish.
Yeah,
this is a fun movie.
Side note to that brought up a good point. Isn't it crazy that we have created an Elvic language? Like, it's not real. I mean, contrary to popular belief, right? There aren't elves in some mystic forest, right? It's purely fantasy, and we've created an entire language around it.
Yeah,
to support all the movies and shows.
Yeah,
that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, well, Tolkien definitely influenced that. I mean, Tolkien had Elvish language in his books, and so therefore they had to mean something.
Yeah.
Go watch Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's a new one on Netflix, and it's about an old book as a kid. And anyway, there's a guy, one of the antagonist in the movie. He is like a Tolkien style character that made his own fantasy world, and he yells at people in a language that he created. It's pretty funny, dude.
But I'll be honest, man. Like, you talk about cinematic marvels. Let's talk about Star Wars. When it came out, people were unsure. They thought it was going to fail. They didn't want to give extra.
Yeah.
I think if I read somewhere, they didn't want to give extra budget to Star Wars because it was such a high cost to produce. People didn't want to do it. It was like a make or break for George Lucas. Like, if it didn't, he would be done. His career would be over if it didn't take off because he had spent so much money. And same with Lord of the Rings. Like, to this day, it's one of the most, if not the most, loved trilogies ever. Right? Ever created. And those movies, dude, I used to have, I think I still do somewhere, maybe. I have the VHS set of the extended cut of the Lord of the Rings trilogies. Each movie's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's like a 9 or 10 hour series. But it's so good. Obviously watching it now versus back then, you're like, this is kind of cheesy, like the CGI and just some of this stuff.
Yeah, dude. Battle of Five Armies and the Hobbit component of that, good. One of the, in my opinion, one of the best fight scenes.
Yeah. Oh man, just the amount of people that they had, because they had to have real people for some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
When they're just flooding down the hills, that is so sick.
Yeah, dude. And then just the character development with Frodo throughout the whole thing, as he's carrying the ring and that kind of stuff. It was just overall a really, really good. And I get it was based off a book, but I would say it was one of those series that is more. And we talked about this before, right? Based off a true story podcast. Go check it out.
Yeah,
it is more along the lines of the books than most other movies that have related to books or from the books and stuff. And it just translates so much better. Much better when you see that, because it's what you remember. Well, it's one of those things like I remember the book, and now I'm watching the movie, and my imagination in my head is coming to real life on a screen.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about with Seth MacFarlane is going to be taking on a TV series for Dungeon Crawler Carl. That is,
that'll be
very excited to see how that plays out. There are some times where I'm like, holy shit. Because I know, because since I've been listening, I've pretty much, I think after the first book is when I found out that was going to be happening. Yeah. And maybe it's even part way. So every time I'm like thinking about how this goes, when they get to a certain part, I'm like, oh, how the hell are they going to pull that?
Well, and then Harry Potter is coming out with a season reboot on HBO. They're going to redo the series, the books, I guess, in a series versus a movie. Oh, cool. Interesting to see how that plays out. But
absolutely, I like TV series. They're way more bingeable, and
you can get so much more out of them. Besides a 2-hour movie, like I love, obviously, Star Wars. Big fan. The Mandalorian came out with the series versus the movie. Good. I'm so glad they did a series versus a movie. You're talking 10 episodes of 43 minutes, versus one movie of 2 hours. You know,
Yeah.
you can just get so much more from it, and you
Yeah.
can binge the hell out of it.
Yeah, I like Mando, dude. I really hope they have more because I don't.
They're
They're on
talking
the.
about making a movie now, and like
They
band.
had season 1, then they had Boba Fett, and then they had season 3, right?
What? No,
They had
no.
season, or is there?
There's 3
4.
seasons of Mandalorian. There's 3.
Okay, it went season 1, season 2, Book of Boba Fett, season 3.
No, I don't know. Not sure on that one.
Because I think I'm caught up on it, but I really hope they put out more Mandalorian because it's pretty.
It's season 3. Oh no, they've only had 2 seasons. I'm sorry, season 3. No, yeah, they've had 3 seasons.
3 seasons of Mandalorian.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett was 2021 through 2022. So it was season 1, Book of Boba Fett, season 2, and then season 3.
When season?
I'm pretty sure. Last year, I believe.
23.
Yeah, April of 2023 is when it
So I think
released.
I've seen that then.
Yeah,
Because he goes and bathes in the waters, right?
yeah.
That's the season.
Spoiler
he goes and
alert.
bathes.
Yeah.
Well,
That's when. Yeah,
that's not a big. Spoiler.
That's when they find the actual the beast that was.
Yeah,
the
don't talk
lore.
about it. Quit it. Enough about it.
Yeah, they figured it out. I mean, if you haven't seen it in a year and a half, that's on you, not me. Don't worry. Don't come at me. It's been available for less than $10 a month to watch, and then you can just cancel the subscription. That's not on me. That's on you if you haven't seen it,
Dude.
So
That's why I think Netflix. That's why they're down to do live events, right? I mean, they don't. They make money on people forgetting to cancel their subscriptions.
Dude, it's only $6.99 for a one like TV stream for no UHD. It's $6.99 a month. It's actually $7. Is pretty cheap for a membership.
Yeah, I think I'm paying $14.99 though. Or
that's the
like
standard
that.
one. It's like you can stream on like 3 devices. You get HD. You know, all that stuff. I do that too. I mean, it used to be $10, but I guess whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, but all right, brother. Well, I got a bunch of stuff to do today, and by a bunch of stuff, I mean absolutely nothing because it's my day off. So
I got a bunch of stuff. I just had a 2-day meeting there. I did nothing and got more stuff to do. So
there you go. So, well, until next time.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Jared. And this is 2 Peas and a Pod.